Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me on this first Mindset Monday of 2021. We're at a great position for really just honing in our mindset for this new year and making it a great year. 2021 can be a wonderful year. It's all how we decide to make it. In case it's your first time joining me, my name is Evelyn Knight. I am the CEO and founder of Childcare Business Professionals, which is a company that helps owners and directors find success in being in the childcare industry. I have had every job in a childcare center, and I am a current owner also. I'm also the host of the Childcare Business Coach podcast, and I am a childcare center owner. I own centers myself. I have built them from the ground up. I've taken over centers and I've reopened centers that have been shut down. So I've got quite a lot of experience. And right now I'm in the process of trying to get another one. So I do have lots of experience. I've helped a lot of owners and directors through a lot of different scenarios, which range from dealing with labor law issues to, gosh, a ton, criminal investigation. So I have dealt with a lot. Good morning, Stephanie. How are you? Yes, yay for starting the new year with me. I'm hoping that I can really help you guys just to start that new year in the right mindset. And just where do we need to be for the new year, right? Where does our mindset need to be? Because we do control the outcomes of our lives when we focus correctly and when we really expose ourselves to the right people, right? So hopefully I can help you on the right trajectory for your new year. So today, because of that being said, I am going to come to you guys with a little bit of tough love. I'm going to just really give us each a reality check. It's a reality check I needed that I basically gave myself before the new year ended, and just my own studies that I've done. I've just kind of give it to myself, and this is basically how I get through every year. And when people ask me, how is it that I've built a couple different successful companies? How do I have a successful podcast? How do I do it all while I have a husband that is, sick and we're caring for him, and I'm a mom, and I mean, I'm just like you guys out there. I'm a center owner. I was a director. I'm a mother. I care for a husband who is ill. Yet I still have the time and I still get it done, right? And people ask me all the time how I get it done. And so I'm going to give you guys a little glimpse into my mind and how it works and why I get things done. And it does take some tough love, and sometimes I can be pretty ruthless with myself but I'll tell you guys, it's so worth it because my life is full of joy, and I'm just, I'm a pretty joyful person, and I have the success to back me up. So one of the things that I want to start with, and the theme I really want you to take from this today, is I want you guys in the mindset that there is no more tomorrow. Okay, there is no more tomorrow. So I want you to really think about that and let it sink in. All the things you say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I will become that leader tomorrow. I will become that center owner tomorrow. I will become the director tomorrow. I'll become that mom. I'll start working on it tomorrow. I'll start my workout plan tomorrow. I'll start that diet tomorrow. That needs to leave your vocabulary. There is no more tomorrow. It needs to be done today. Okay, so that is the number one thing I want you guys to take. And that's one of the things that I can be pretty ruthless with myself about, is I just really don't tolerate that tomorrow. It has to be done today. If you can do it, let's get it done, right? Now, I can tell you on the other hand, I can be quite the procrastinator too. So when I do, I have to give myself due dates, right? So a good example is we are coming up on our quality rating at our center. There's some things that I have to help with that they can't do without me. So I have to give myself a due date because I put so much on my calendar that a lot of that tactical stuff I have a really hard time getting to. So I will absolutely give myself a due date. Good morning, Beth. How are you? So you know what? Now that Beth is on there, I'm going to mention right now, for those of you, one of the first things I said this morning on the live is that you need to surround yourself with people, right? Who watch who you're surrounding. And actually, I'll just get on to that subject right now. As I'm saying, there's no more tomorrows, right? There is no more tomorrow. You have to do it today. One of the ways that you can get there is to get those people out of your life that really hold you back, and surround yourself with people who are going to push you forward. So if you're watching this, that is a great use of your time, right? I'm watching my Mindset Monday videos. If you're one of my members, just immersing yourself in the teachings is going to help you push you forward. Beth, who just put a comment, check her out. Follow Beth Cannon Speak. She's another person that is awesome to just really follow and who will just help motivate you, right? There's just people out there, and if this is where you have to find us is on Facebook, then immerse yourself in them. I know Beth has a lot of videos. I have a lot of videos. I have the podcast, right? Go in there and immerse yourself in these people who are at the level you want to be. I hear from so many of you guys. They're like, oh, I want my center to be like you. Okay, well, that's awesome. You want your centers to be like mine? You want to achieve what I've achieved? Then immerse yourself in my teachings, right? Go in and watch my videos. Join my membership group. Just really immerse yourself in what I teach and what I believe. Listen to my podcast. And you will start seeing how my thought patterns work, how I really work, and you will be able to achieve that level of success. Let's see, Beth says, oh, thank you. And here for, yes, absolutely. I watch Beth for motivation. She watches me for motivation. It's kind of that back and forth thing where we listen to each other, right? But that's part of the reason that I can perform at the level I do, is because I'm just constantly emerging myself, and I'm finding those positive people who really are at that next level of success, right? And they're where I want to be. And I just keep myself surrounded by those people. Even if I don't talk to them on a regular basis, I maybe, like Beth and I maybe spoke a couple times last year, but I still stay current with her and what she's doing, because she's somebody that is very productive and she gets things done, right? So stay exposed to people like that. And those are the kind of people who are going to help you get to the next level, because you're going to start picking up. You're going to learn what are our habits. For those of us who have really successful centers or businesses, what habits do we have, right? So if you're listening to our teachings and you're really following us, it's going to help you get to that next level. Yes, always leveling up. Otherwise you get lost in the shuffle. One of the groups that I belong to, my coaching company, is very high level, right? The coach is actually an 8-figure earner, and they actually asked me to do a consultation for somebody who was thinking about joining the program. And so when I was on the phone with this lady, and she just asked me, she's like, this is a huge investment. It's a lot of money. How do you commit to that every month? And she asked me, she's like, well, don't you feel like a little fish in a big pond? Because all of these people in this program are 7, 8-figure earners. And most of them are 8-figure earners, right? And my business coach is actually getting ready to go to the 9 figures. And so I told her, well, of course, that's what I want. I want to be a small fish in a big pond, because if I want to be that big fish, I need to surround myself with those big fish. I want to be that person. When you need to get yourself to the next level, you need to surround yourself with people who are at that next level, which is exactly why I do my coaching program. It's exactly why I have my membership program, is that I'm giving you guys all the tools that I've done. I'm basically just giving you everything I've created, putting my brain out there for you guys so that you can emulate what I've done, right? And then once you are at my level, then you guys go to the next level and the next level. And hopefully my goal for you guys and my members is, since I'm always leveling up, my coaching program should always be leveling up also, right? I should always be taking you to that next level, which this year I am adding a lot of different things to my coaching program or my membership program so that my members can level up. We constantly need to level up, but that means that we need to surround ourselves with people who are leveled up from us, right? If you're going to grow, you've got to surround yourself with those people. So really, just again, I'm going to reiterate, there is no tomorrow, and surround yourself with those people. Even if you have to find them online, even if you have to just immerse yourself in videos, join my membership. I am online 3 days a week with my members. On Mondays, starting next week, I do an office hour where they can just jump on and chat with me. On Tuesdays, I teach every Tuesday for my members, and on Thursdays, again, I'm available on office hours. So my members get to interact with me 3 days a week. right? And then including Mondays when I'm doing this, I'm available for my members 4 days a week. So I have members who don't miss a call. They're on every single one. And I can see the changes in their center. And one of the things that I get told a lot is that they're getting their time back and they're getting their centers back. It's like you go through this transformation where your center no longer runs you. You start running the center, right? Once you get that shift, and it definitely is a paradigm shift. But once you get it, you get to a place where you just don't have that frustration anymore. You don't feel like a hamster in a wheel. You don't feel like you're just constantly putting out fires, right? You learn how to be proactive instead of reactive, which should be my life's motto, is being proactive instead of reactive. It's just one of the biggest things I believe in is, why would you put out fires when you can stop them from happening? You don't see the Forest Service constantly running after fires to put them out. You see controlled burns, right? They're controlling burns to stop those big fires from happening. And that is one of the biggest things that I try and teach my members too, is like, let's get these policies, procedures, everything in line so you can stop putting out fires all the time and you can prevent them from ever happening. Just making your center a more efficient center by having the right processes, procedures. How do you handle situations? Now, we're always going to have problems, right? Nothing's perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect world, which is why I make myself available so that we can brainstorm together and solve those problems together every week, a couple times a week. Let's work through this. Let's work through this. And I have some amazing members. One of my members has been an owner for over 20 years, and she is amazing. I learn as much from her as she learns from me. So when we get into these think tanks together, it's amazing what we can give to each other. It's really a great environment of things that we can do for each other. So the other thing I really want you guys to think of is, when you think of all the things standing in your way, what really pops in your mind? When you think of where you want your center to be, right? The owner you want to be, the kind of lifestyle you want to be. One of my clients last week I was talking to, she said that it really resonated with her that I was talking to her about how I get to go to the gym. Right before I had surgery, I was going to the gym twice a day. She's like, how on earth do you have time to go to the surgery twice a day? Like, well, it's the life I've created, right? I was very intentional about creating this life where I had time to work out twice a day, right? And it's not something that just happened. It's the fact that I have really good time management skills, and it's the fact that I've intentionally created this life for myself, right? I've put things in place to get to where I am today. So I do have the time to go work out twice a day when I need to. Now, right now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not doing it twice a day right now, but pre-surgery I was, just to be ready for my surgery. So you do have control, and you are the only person standing in your way. I know you're thinking, well, my staff, they just don't perform at a high enough level, or I just can't afford to hire people who can really perform for me, or I can, and I'm sure all these excuses are going through your mind and you're placing blame. But honestly, you guys, the blame starts with us. Buck stops here. Once you really own that and understand that you are in control of your life, you are in control of your situation, you can really move forward. And everything is really a matter of how you interpret it. For those of you guys who've been following me, you know my husband has end-stage kidney disease. He's on dialysis 7 days a week. He had 3 strokes within the last year. Started December of 2019 to January 2020. And, you know, I had a decision to make, and I could have decided, am I going to let this stop me? Am I going to close down my coaching business? Am I going to stop my podcast? Am I going to, what am I going to do? My center was running itself, so I could have kept my center just fine. But I really had to stop and ask myself, like, what am I going to do, right? This is happening in my life. And a lot of people in that situation would allow that to destroy their lives. But I had to choose. I had to make that choice. What am I going to do with my life? How am I going to interpret these circumstances? And it really comes down to, how do I choose to interpret these circumstances in my life? How am I going to react to them, right? I could have let that shut me down. And there were times it was hard. I'm not going to lie. There were times that I just didn't know what I was going to do and how I was going to make it. But basically, again, I can be pretty brutal with myself, and I just had to give myself that tough love and just tell myself, okay, enough. You felt sorry for yourself long enough. Get over it, move on, get to work. And that's pretty much what I do. I mean, I just basically tell myself, push through, get to work. Because in the long run, I have the perspective, and I know that if I give up and I stop, I'm only hurting myself in the long run, right? What's going to happen is going to happen. I can't stop it from happening. I can't stop what's going on with my husband's health. I can't change it. But 5 years from now, the choices I make today are going to dictate where my life is, right? And I'm always keeping that in my mind, always keeping that in my mind. I have to do the hard things today. I have to push through today so that 5 years from now, I don't have these huge regrets and I'm not in a horrible situation in my own personal life because I didn't make the right decisions, because I wasn't strong enough to push through when I needed to. When my family needs me, I look at my 16-year-old son who's going to possibly want to go to college in 2 years. Do I shut my business down and then I can't afford to put him through college? Or do I keep persevering? Do I push through anyway? Right? These are things that I ask myself, and I just basically have had to just tell myself, suck it up and get through. And it's hard. I wasn't always a tough person who could do that. I used to crumble. And if Christina ends up watching this, she can tell you my business coach, my first business coach, Christina, there were times where I did just crumble. I froze, right? When I first started working with them, it's been years now, but I just froze. And I would just crumble and I would let life get to me and I just didn't take action. And that caused me to almost lose everything. I've almost gone bankrupt twice because I froze. And I've almost lost everything twice in my life. I've gone through a lot in my life. And when I got sick, and I realized that the worst thing you can do is freeze up. The worst thing you can do is allow your circumstances to control your life. And the most important thing is to really keep a perspective on time. 2020 was a hard year. It was a hard year, especially for our industry. Our industry, could have been decimated by 2020. And I know still running a center through COVID is hard, but it is a temporary circumstance, you guys. We're going to get past this. It's going to be over. And when it is over, are you going to be able to thank yourself for the person that you have been through all of this? Are you going to be able to tell yourself, thank you for persevering. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for pushing through this insane time, right? And not giving up. Thank you for being the person you needed to be. Or are you going to have regret? Are you going to sit back and ask yourself, like, gosh, I should have. I gave up on my dream. I gave up on my center. I could have been here. But instead of doing the hard work, instead of staying up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning getting done what I need to get done, I crumbled and I didn't get it done. I lost everything, right? So those are the decisions that you have to make. And I've faced that more than once in my life. I've definitely been in a couple situations where I just had to make those decisions, and that, what am I going to do? I'm about to lose everything. Am I going to take action, or am I going to lose it all? Am I going to go back to being a 9-to-5 employee and lose it all? And, both times that I went through this, I thank God guided me. I cannot, and I will never take credit for it myself. I mean, thank God he guided me and gave me the compass to follow. And I did take action and I got to work. And so here I am today, still with successful childcare centers under my belt and my coaching business, which is pretty successful, right? 2020 was hard, you guys. It was hard for all of us. But on top of COVID, on top of watching my center go from 115 children a day to 27 children a day, while all of you guys were dealing with that, I was also dealing with a husband who just had his 3rd stroke. Within 2 months, 3 strokes. We didn't know if he was ever going to walk again. He lost his hearing permanently in one ear. He is now 50% blind, 50% deaf. For a long time, he was completely wheelchair bound. He's still about 75% wheelchair bound. Okay, he's not very old. He's not even 50 yet. And so we went from living a perfectly normal life, just like you guys, you go home to your spouse, to life changed overnight for us. And we knew, I mean, he was on dialysis, but he was living through dialysis, which also was a big surprise. In June of 2019, I found out my husband had stage 5 kidney disease, which is end stage, which came out of nowhere for me. And so that's a whole other story. But last January is when he had his last third stroke, and he was in the hospital for a couple weeks, and we didn't know if he would ever walk again. We didn't know if he was going to be wheelchair bound forever. We didn't know if he'd be able to work. His cognition was not where it is today. So we didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to, need to put him in a nursing home. I was facing so many crazy things at that time. And so February was him recovering. They allowed him to come home in February. But we had nurses in my house 5 days a week. We had speech pathologists, physical therapists. I mean, somebody here at my home 5 days a week giving him some kind of therapy just to get his life back on track, right? And then in March, COVID hit. And then we got to deal with that. So when everybody out there, when you're starting to feel sorry for yourself about what your center is going through, that's what I was going through, you guys. COVID was like secondary to me compared to what I was going through in my family. I also have a 16-year-old son who was devastated watching what his dad was going through. So just getting my son through that, and at the same time keeping up my podcast and coming on here and doing you guys. And ironically, March is when I started doing these. I started doing Mindset Monday to help keep you guys encouraged and to really help you guys keep going. And that was, which most of you probably didn't know what I was actually going through at the time. But it was my family life was just chaotic and crazy, but I just knew I had to get on here and I had to help, because I've been in the situation and I know how lonely it feels to be an owner that is about to lose everything. I know how you feel like an island, like nobody can relate, and that overwhelming, awful feeling. And so I just knew, like, I got to get on here. I've got to give encouragement. I've got to help these people through this, because I've been there, done that. One of the things I keep saying to you guys that I want you to keep in mind is disasters always happen, right? Whether it's a personal disaster in your own life, or whether it's a regional disaster like an earthquake, a tornado, or a hurricane, they always happen. They're always happening. The only difference is COVID's happening to all of us at once, right? Last March, February, March, April happened to all of us at once. That's the only difference with what's happening right now. But all of you know somebody in your personal life who's going through a tragic or tough disaster situation in their personal life. They're always happening, always, right? So when we do hit these disaster situations, we need to make a decision. What are we going to do? Are we going to step in and be the people we need to be? Or are we going to pull back, freeze, and lose everything? So for 2021, that's really what I want you guys to think about. I want you to think there is no tomorrow. You can't wait anymore, right? If you are going to be your best self, okay, which you need to be. If you're going to make your center the best it can be, then you need to be your best self. You need to be the best that you can be, right? And in order to be the best that you can be, you need to get everything in line. You need to get your health in line. You need to start exercising. For those of you guys who've been following me, you know that through this process, through this entire my life change that I went through over the last 5 or 6 years, that got me to the place I am today, I have lost about 140 pounds. I've just completely changed my life, completely changed who I am. I realized that in order to be the person I needed to be, I needed to change everything in order to make my business successful. If I was going to be a successful business owner, I needed to get control of my entire life. And that starts with your mindset. Absolutely starts with your mindset. The narrative, the stories you're telling yourself. So check your environment. Get rid of the things that need to go. Get rid of the friends that need to go. If they're toxic, if they tell you you can't, if they aren't encouraging, they need to go. They don't need your time and energy. They're sucking your energy away. There's something that I like to study, energy vampires, people who just suck the energy out of you. watch for those energy vampires that are just sucking the energy out of you and get rid of them. If you have them in your center, if you have those really negative people who are gossiping, they are a cancer for your center, and they could be taking the entire center down. So they got to go. I know it's hard, you guys. I had an energy vampire working for me for, oh gosh, it was over 6 or 7 years, and I loved her as a person. But when it was time for her to go, it was hard. It was so hard. But at the same time, it really made my center a better place when we finally made that decision and she went, right? It made it such a better place. And I know it's so hard to make those decisions, but you have to do it. Get rid of the things that suck your energy, right? The people and the things. Look around your office. What in your office is sucking your energy dry? I know for me, when my office gets really, really cluttered, it stresses me out and it just sucks. I walk in, I get stressed, and I just feel it like sucking me dry. So every few months, we go through and we just completely declutterize it, right? Because I do tend to gather clutter. It's one of my things that I do. But so every couple of months, I do have to just go and purge. Just do a huge purge, right? So look at those things. Is there a room in your house that you wake up to every morning that's just sucking the energy out of you? Is your office at your center sucking the energy out of you? Are the people you're surrounding yourself, right? In 2021, make the commitment to get that stuff out of your life. Purge it from your life. It will just make you feel so much better to get it out of your life. Make the time. You guys, we do all have time. And if you think you don't, then you definitely need to join my coaching program. And you definitely need to take my time management. I do have a course on time management in my membership program, which is available to you guys. I walk you through the whole thing. I have exercises to do to really help you learn how to get control of your time and how to learn how, most importantly, how to respect your time. Okay. And I know actually with Beth, I'm doing a leadership summit. I will be doing the leadership summit, and that's what I'll be teaching on is time management. I think it's just such an important skill that most of us cannot get a lot of the things I talk about done if you don't learn how to manage your time. So if you're part of the Leadership Summit, also make sure that you take my time management class. But just immerse yourself in an environment that is going to be conductive and who's going to really push you to that next level, right? So declutter, get rid of those toxic people, and flood yourself with people who are not toxic, who are positive, who are going to lift you up and going to take you to the next level. Listen to my podcast. Go follow Beth. Listen to her teachings, right? Follow the people who are really thinking at that next level that are going to help you and who are positive and productive, right? Because you will start picking up those habits. It's I actually used to say that I brainwashed myself. I do, like, for a long time, I actually even stopped listening to music. So I could do nothing but listen to positive podcasts, positive teachings. I had 3 business coaches for a while that just to really just immerse myself and really change my mindset. And for those of you who watch me, you know my background is in neurological psychology, so I know how the brain works. And I knew I literally needed to brainwash myself into becoming this new person, right? And that's exactly what I did. I immersed myself and I just brainwashed myself. And I continue. When I feel like my mindset's starting to slip, when I feel old depression coming back on, I need to just focus on all that positive energy. I need to really focus. I need to pray a lot. I need to journal. But that's really where I start, when I start feeling that negativity coming into me, right? I just literally brainwash myself, right? But what we want to do is control that brainwash. If you're scrolling through Facebook all the time and you're seeing that negativity popping up, and then you're listening to the news and you've got negative friends, you're being brainwashed, but it's not intentional. So we might as well be intentional with the brainwashing that's coming into our minds, right? We might as well guide it and really push through and learn what we need to learn. So what I want you to ask yourself for this year is, where do you want to be, right? Where do you want your center to be? Where do you personally want to be? Who do you want to be? Find the people who are there. Find those people that you want to be like. Find the people that you want to really just emulate in your life and immerse yourself in them. Just absolutely immerse yourself in them. If you need to join my membership group, you guys, That is what one of my biggest goals. And not only do I teach on how to run a center from the business perspective, most of you know how to be a center director. You guys know how to run a classroom like it's nobody's business. But so many people in our industry do not know business. We don't know business practices. So that is one of my biggest goals, is teaching you how to be a business person. My other big goal is working on your mindset, just really teaching you how to think like a high-level CEO. How does a high-level CEO care for themselves, right? How does a high-level CEO spend their time, spend their money? How do they think? What are the kind of things they think about? Because bottom line is, if you're going to have a successful childcare center, you need to think like that high-level CEO, right? You've got to have that mindset. You got to learn what tips and tricks do they use. And that's exactly what I did over the last 5 to 7 years. I just really immersed myself in learning and just really just following these high-level CEOs, learning how they think, learning how they work, learning their processes, procedures. What do they do when they wake up in the morning? What time do they wake up? What time do they go to bed, right? It's things that might seem menial to you, but it's so important. It's really, it makes the whole person. I mean, in our industry, we talk about the whole child. And in ECE, we know how important the whole child is, right? But it's the same thing for us. The same thing. The whole person for us is so important. If you're going to be that next level owner, that next level director, the next level mom, next level wife, next level friend, you've got to start with yourself. You can't nurture all of that without taking care of yourself first, right? And if you look at really high level people, they really do take care of themselves. They work out, they get massages, they eat right, they journal. Journaling is huge, huge. It's kind of funny because every single high level CEO I've followed, that I've studied, every single one of them keeps a journal. So just really interesting. Sometimes they may not work out, some may not eat right, but they all keep a journal. It's fascinating to me. But most of the time they do. If you're going to have the energy to live at that high level, you have to take care of your body, and you've got to take care of your mind. So that is what I'm going to leave you with today, guys. So just remember, there is no more tomorrow. 2021 motto, there is no tomorrow. Today is our tomorrow. 2021 is our year. We have the choice. How are we going to commit to 2021? Are we going to see 2021 as an obstacle, or are we going to see it as just something that's going to make us better and stronger? And I can tell you guys, 2020 made me better and stronger. I can't say it was a bad year. I really can't. So much good came out of it. I might have had a lot of obstacles and struggles thrown at me, but by the end of the year, I grew so much. I learned so much, and I had some great things happen. So I can't say it was a bad year, right? There was a few situations, quite a few, that were bad, but that doesn't make the whole year bad, right? Just like I always say, are you going to let 2 hours out of the 14 waking hours of your day make an entire day bad? Or are you going to say, okay, that was a bad moment, let's move on? That doesn't make a whole day bad. All of 2020 was not bad, right? Altogether, there was probably more good than there was bad. So I hope everybody has a wonderful first work week of 2021. And I really hope you guys go out there and kill it, be intentional, really look at your environment, who you are, who you're surrounding yourself with, what you're surrounding yourself with, and just make it an intentional year. Have a great afternoon, everybody.